All right, so today we're diving into, well, more like cracking open a real classic, right?
Yeah.
Excerpts from Orwell's 1984.
Yeah, this one's a doozy.
Definitely. And you all sent this over, so I know you're ready to kind of go past just like the surface level of this book.
Yeah, definitely.
Really get into like the nuts and bolts of like how this dystopia works, the stuff that makes you really think about like, what's going on around me? And you know what's so creepy about Orwell's world? It's like weirdly familiar, even with the telescreens and like Big Brother watching you, you know?
Yeah, it's those details, right? He uses those so well. Like Orwell puts you right there with Winston, the smell of the boiled cabbage.
Yeah.
Clinging to his apartment building, the threat of the power cuts.
Yeah.
It just creates this atmosphere that's so suffocating. You feel the party's control over everything.
And Winston, right, our main guy, he's just an average Joe trying to figure this world out. But it's like, even the smallest thing, like writing in a diary, that's like an act of rebellion in this world.
Yeah.
Like Orwell is saying our own thoughts, right, can be a way to resist.
Especially when the party is trying to control every single aspect of their lives, even down to the way they think, right? Like newspeak. Newspeak. It's their attempt to simplify language,
Yeah.
to control it. But by removing words, you remove the concepts the words represent.
It's true. It's like, imagine if someone tried to just like erase the word freedom. You wouldn't even be able to think about it.
Exactly.
No wonder Winston feels so trapped. And then you layer on top of that this constant propaganda, the 2 minutes hate, Big Brother, staring you down from every corner.
And it's everywhere.
It's like they're drowning in it.
Yeah, and he takes it even a step further with the junior spies, you know.
Oh, don't even get me started on the junior spies.
The kids are indoctrinated to report on their parents.
It's awful.
Which is just so unsettling, right? Because it shows how totalitarian regimes, they turn people against each other.
Oh, yeah.
Even within their own families.
It makes you wonder, like, what's more effective? Rewriting history, right? Or just like controlling how it's told in the first place.
Right.
Because that's what's happening at the Ministry of Truth where Winston works, right?
Exactly.
It's not just erasing the past.
Yeah.
It's replacing it with whatever the party wants people to believe.
Exactly. And that ties into the idea, one of the most chilling aspects of the book. If you control the past, you control the present.
It's true.
Winston's literally rewriting history, right?
Yeah, it's his job.
It's this powerful metaphor for how easily truth can be manipulated.
Absolutely.
And just how dangerous that is.
So we've got Winston, right, just completely struggling against this system, this oppressive, like, way of life. And then, boom, Julia.
Yeah.
Like a breath of fresh air, seriously.
It's this really powerful act of rebellion, don't you think? When everything is so controlled, their relationship, it becomes a way for them to like reclaim some part of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Their individuality, their humanity, the things the party is trying to, you know, grind down.
It's so true. And like, remember that scene where they first meet in the woods and Julia just like throws her clothes off? It's like that, even that, like such a small act, it's like defying the party in this huge way.
Right. It's like this little crack in this like monolithic facade of control they're trying to project. Orwell, he describes it as like a blow struck against the party, like a real blow.
Wow.
You know, that they just refuse to be controlled in this one small way.
That's powerful.
Like they're reclaiming their right to desire, right, to experience joy, to connect with another human being in a world that's trying to dictate, well, everything.
Yeah.
Even the most private points of their lives.
Yeah, but it's dangerous, right? Because this need, this like longing for freedom, it pushes them towards the Brotherhood,
Right.
this mysterious organization that's supposedly fighting against Big Brother. And that's a whole other can of worms, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because their only reason for believing in this Brotherhood is this gut feeling Winston has about O'Brien,
Right.
this high-ranking party dude.
Right.
And it's based on like nothing, like a look, a feeling.
It's wild.
Right.
Like that just shows how desperate they are for some kind of hope, you know?
Oh, totally. Talk about high stakes. And all this whole relationship, it's all playing out like right under the nose of Big Brother.
Well, yeah.
They're always looking over their shoulder, right? Because the thought police could be anywhere.
Right. That's the thing about the thought police, right? They're designed to be this like invisible threat.
Totally.
It makes you understand why Winston is so careful, paranoid even,
Oh yeah.
about every word he says, you know, every thought he allows himself to have, because one wrong move
Yeah.
and it's over.
And just when you think, okay, they've carved out this little tiny bit of safety, boom, The thought police, they burst into the room above Mr. Charrington's shop.
I mean, talk about a gut punch.
I know.
Especially with that reveal, right? That Mr. Charrington, the sweet old shopkeeper, he's a member of the thought police.
Ugh.
Talk about no one to trust.
It's such a good move by Orwell. Like, it drives home this point in this world. Nobody is safe.
Nobody.
You can't trust anyone.
Nope.
And that's the point, right? That's what the party wants. This society where even thinking about dissent, even just thinking it, is like impossible.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's like Orwell, he really builds up this sense of dread, leading up to Room 101. It's like you can feel Winston's hope just draining away as he gets closer to this, like, this unknown terror.
Well, Room 101, I mean, it's the ultimate endpoint, right, of the party's control. Like, this is where they go for the complete and utter annihilation of the individual.
Wow.
It's not even just physical torture. It's like they're trying to break your spirit, right, to make you betray your own identity, who you are at your core.
And the worst part is, like, O'Brien, right, Winston, he's convinced he's part of this rebellion.
Right.
But it's O'Brien who turns out to be like the architect of his destruction. I mean, that scene where O'Brien is just like laying out the party's motives, chills.
Power is an end in itself.
Yeah.
Like, there's no greater meaning, no justification, just power, raw and terrifying.
Exactly. It's like all those reasons, all the stories they tell, it means nothing.
Right. And that's what's so scary about the party, right? They don't just want to control what you do. They want to control how you think, how you feel, how you see the world. It's why they torture Winston, why they make him betray Julia, by confronting him with his deepest fear. It's about breaking him completely.
Ugh, such a powerful moment in the book. And, it's like, remember earlier we were talking about newspeak?
Yeah.
And how the party controls language?
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to create a world where those words, love, freedom, even rebellion, they don't exist.
Trying to erase those concepts entirely. And, to a certain extent, they succeed. I mean, by the end, Winston loves Big Brother, right. But the question Orwell leaves us with, it's like, is that real? Is that a true conversion? Or is it just, like, the only way for Winston to survive, to stop the pain?
It's such a heavy ending. It really makes you think, is there any hope in this kind of world? Like, even if you survive, what's left? You're not really you anymore.
Well, I mean, Orwell, he does offer this, like, little glimmer of hope with the proles, working class, right? They're kind of outside the party's grasp.
Yeah. They haven't been completely sucked into the system.
Exactly. They represent something that the party hasn't been able to crush, this, like, raw, untamed, human spirit.
Like, they hold the key, right, to some other future, even if they don't even realize it. Like, they still sing, they still love, they still tell stories.
Yes, exactly. All the things the party is trying to stamp out.
It's like those little acts of defiance.
Exactly. And that's what makes 1984, it's not just some dusty old dystopian novel. It still speaks to us. It's a warning, right? About power, surveillance, how easy it is to, like, distort the truth.
Oh, yeah. Still so relevant.
But it's also about, even when things are bleak, that human spirit, it's pretty hard to kill.
I like that.
Right? So.
Okay, so closing the book here, literally and figuratively, on 1984. I think the big takeaway, if there's just one thing to leave you all with, it's be vigilant.
Yes.
Be aware.
Yes.
Look around you.
Yeah.
Don't just accept the stories you're told. Question things.
Yeah.
And hold on to the things that make you human. Your loves, your relationships. You're right. It's that human spirit.
It's the best defense we have.
Totally. Against any Big Brother out there, whether it's, a real thing or just something we're imagining.
Couldn't have said it better myself.